What is this? What is this? Who knew, who knew, who knew, who knew, who knew, who knew? This guy apparently will boast that he knows the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stars above his bash head. Just got it right. Just got it right. He couldn't wait. So what's he saying?
Your woman.
You know, but it's interesting that you say this, because what you were trying to do there is use information, hopefully a tsunami of information, to get him to move away from his anchored position, which is something that I discuss in great detail in my book.
A tsunami of information. Whoa, yeah, just a tidal wave that will just smash him, right? You hope that, wow, this tidal wave of information will hopefully sway you from your anchored belief of denial.
And I think I've come to a similar realization to you, regrettably, and that is that oftentimes all the information in the world
It's not going to help.
is not going to help.
Yeah, he didn't want to lose.
He didn't want to lose.
Yeah.
And it really is, you're putting your hands in your la la la. I don't want to hear
He was
it.
trying to find a way.
Wow. So, okay, this guy, this guy is saying all the information in the world will not help you. Well, yet they boast that knowledge is power. Wow. And you'll say, oh, no, because it's just the real, the factual information that matters. And it's the other disinfo and all the other quote-unquote false information that's out there. The disinfo, that's the problem. Wow, no. Your bash optics, your worship is awry. Who knew? But no, you say, oh, yeah, you hope, if you have a friend that believes, in bash things like the flat earth, or the bash things like, you name it. Oh, that somehow the Twin Tower thing was an inside job. Wow, who knew? But you say, no, if you believe that you're past or this, you think, so everybody's just regular ass people, and somehow we are relentlessly fighting off, swatting off the terrorists, just putting them down, left and right, because we are the virtuous ones. Amazing. So what is this guy saying? He's saying, all the information in the world does not help you.
Yeah.
And it really is, you're putting your hands in your...
Wow, who knew? You're playing the bash, just bash, do as I will, doesn't really matter, and you name it. It could be whatever information you want, because you formalize your own image and your own relative truth, and you can't wait to boast it, and therefore want to be recognized for it, all the while doing what this guy's doing right now. Exactly what this guy's doing.
And your la la la, I don't want to hear it.
He was trying to find a way to say, by him saying that perception is sometimes more important than the actual facts. He was trying to say...
Wow, he's saying this guy wanted to live on just image worship, and I kept telling him, no, man, it's about facts. So who knew it's the blind leading the blind? But yet they have talk shows and podcasts relentlessly just beating that dead horse, so to speak. Because they can't wait to just emotionally trigger you to just, either boast with him or just get, offended by what he's saying, and then just boast in your own relative truth. Wow, who knew? So these guys are doing their job, of course, and they get to boast in their, prestige, in their titles, in their apparent respect of the world, and this and this and this and that and that and that and that. All in name only. So, what does it even mean? Well, this guy will tell you. This guy couldn't wait to tell you.
He was trying to say that women are discriminated against because these facts are paraded around in a way that make women feel bad.
Right.
And because
Okay, so then facts are then distorted somehow to just impact your emotions. Whoa, who knew? Who knew the same? Who knew that the studies of you would be used against you? The temperature, the constant temperature checking and bastering, who knew is used against you? Right? Because it's not actually used to somehow say, wow, we're totally just way off target. We are not doing anything right. It's just to say, well, wow, these things are somehow not good because of the percentages and this and that and this and that. So we just administer our own morality and depending according to the times and what we're able to bash and just tolerate and this and that. Right? Because it truly has no bearing on the actual truth. No. It has Medusa swarm, heads and fountains of just swamp, stagnant, just life that's feeding. It's just feeding off of itself. Who knew it's soiling green?
As women feel bad that they're making 78 cents to the man's dollar, that is just as important as the actual reality of how much they make.
Okay, so now they're going to say a little bit about Bad Bash, who gives a bash, but then they say something really intriguing.
That if you really want to test a theory, you have to be able to falsify the theory. That which cannot be falsified cannot be a theory. That they really help us understand doesn't get us. I hate to read most philosophers because they engage in a lot of highfalutin bullshit that really...
Oh, so he's like, philosophers are bash. But then he's going to say, but...
doesn't get us anywhere. But philosophers of science actually are quite helpful.
So, however, philosophers of science somehow are the way. Wow, what a shame. What a shame. Because instead of musing you through the wormholes of the apparent mind, now they're just swarming you and defiling you and warming you through the apparent doctrine of man. So basically, it's just the musing boast of the methodology of man. So who knew he would just totally boast that? But then be like, philosophers, they just meander and do this and do absolutely nothing. However, the meanders of our doctrine, wow, they are amazing. So,
helpful in that they really help us understand the epistemology of how to learn about knowledge, create knowledge, test knowledge. And so Karl Popper...
So really, okay, so they teach us about this. He said, the theory of knowledge. Right? The theory of knowledge, right? And you boast knowledge is power. So it's the theory of power. Especially with regard to its methods, validity, and scope. So that guy just basically regurgitated. He just parroted this. Epistemology is the investigation of what distinguishes justified belief from opinion. So to them, it's just like, oh, this is the anchor that will just boast us in logic and reason because it's justified belief based on fact and evidence and all those bash things that you're going to bash and hold fast in science and distinguish it from apparent opinion. Just go, that's just opinion. You're entitled to I respect your opinion, right? It's like, it's just splat, shots everywhere. All while boasting the theory of knowledge. And that guy just admitted that all the information of the world doesn't matter to one that's just in it for themselves. Do as thou wilt, bash. I'm the best, I'm the change, I'm the light, all this bash. Who knew? So, who knew that this podcast is actually very, revealing? Because they're boasting in the very thing that exposes them. So, good job. Good job, people. Great work. Because truly, you're, of course, on earth, in the flesh, in doubt, it would be apparent that we have the choice to do whatever we want. So, who knew that you can affiliate with whatever you want? But who knew that all things outside of the refuge of truth, in a way, in obedience of life, in fear of God, for you see the true promise, is truly a life of suffering and dying. So anything outside of what I just said is truly just dying, because you have chosen knowledge, right? You have chosen the theory of knowledge to just kill you, choke you out in some bash proverbial alley that you just love. You couldn't wait to just get in to prove your jujitsu style that you tested. You're testing God relentlessly. So who knew you're getting choked out? You're getting choked out relentlessly, and you don't know why you can't breathe. You don't know why you're out of breath. Blah blah blah. You're getting choked out by your own worship. Exactly. Void worship based on the false delusion of the shape-shifting light, which promises you anything you want, all to just get you to just get off the way. All while boasting that you're doing it my way. And they get some bash, wife beater to get you and sing you because he has such a beautiful voice. All blue eyes and this, all crazy. And he's just amazing. Oh, just bashing. Oh, yeah. He did it his way. He just bashed his wife left and right, kicked her in the stomach, and aborted relentless babies, probably. Right? So who knew that that's the actual oppression and not what you want it to be? Oh, man. No, it's worshippers of the light. For they don't actually recognize the true promise and then become bright, become beacons of truth in the living, amongst the living dead who knew.
Popper argued that if you really want to test a theory, you have to be able to falsify the theory. That which cannot be falsified cannot be considered a scientific theory, right? If the observation is this way, it supports the theory. If the observation is this way, it falsifies the theory.
You mean the theory or hypothesis? Now, what are you saying? Oh, this is the theory.
So, for example, fate is not a scientific theory, right? Because if I step out of my house today and the truck hits me, it was my fate. If I step out of my house and the truck doesn't hit me, it was my fate. So there are.
So who knew that this guy's just mocking fate, right? Resolve, resolution, clarity, face to face. But he'll say, oh, yeah, we all just have to do their hero's journey and come and face our fears and that and this and that. Smashed.
There are no conditions of the world where whatever is instantiated is not my fate. Therefore, fatalism is not part of, the epistemology of science, right? Well, so to speak to that point that we were talking about earlier, how once someone is anchored in a position, you can't get them away from it. So I have a section in my book.
So he's saying that they're never proven wrong? People that are just have their hands over the ears and paws and blinded, just going by feeling. You're saying those people what? Are unproved? You can't prove them wrong because they just are the super soldier. They're just bash, and justify why their position is more virtuous than yours and ultimately correct because they have to be right. They must be right because they are the change. They are the change. They are the future. Right? It's that belief that these people pushed. Our parents. But this guy's now boasting in his enlightenment and how logical and intellectual he is.
that is currently titled "All Roads Lead to Bigotry." All right. So let me give you an example,
All
a few
roads
examples
lead
of
to
these.
bigotry.
If you say that you don't want to have sex with overweight women, grossly overweight women, 500-pound women, then the argument is you're a fattest, right? You are judging us based on the folds of our skin and you're dehumanizing us. If you are someone who is specifically looking to have sex with someone who is overweight, you are fetishizing our skin folds. So if I love having sex with a fat woman, I'm a bad person. If I don't want to have sex with a fat woman, I'm a bad person. And I demonstrate through many of these examples how all roads lead to victimhood, right? I give the
Oh, he couldn't wait. Right? So instead of saying fate or faith in resolve, this guy says, oh, it's just everyone's in victimhood. And he admitted it. Everyone is under the victimhood of the 33rd degree of vision. Who knew? And that's what it is to you. That's what you call life. And you don't see beyond. Nope. Because those are your parameters. And you'll just bash and smash and boast and swell like a hot dog and rip like the seams and just go out into the world and become the food that the next generation will feed off of. All boasting that they will just recycle you into the bash sun and then prove themselves right. What is going on?
The example, I think the last time I was on the show, of a woman who had done a study demonstrating that Israeli soldiers had never raped a Palestinian woman. Do you remember that case?
Mm-hmm.
Now, she had done the study hoping to show that there was rampant rape of Palestinian women. She couldn't uncover a single documented case of a Palestinian woman being raped by IDF soldiers, Israeli Defense Forces soldiers. What did she conclude from that?
Okay, how could it be? How could that be? Zero, right? Either it means that zero actually happened or that they relentlessly cover their tracks. And make sure nobody speaketh of anything. So which is it? I don't know, but then he's going to boast about what?
Well, the IDF soldiers are so racist that they dehumanize these women so much that they're not even worthy of being raped. So if you rape the Palestinian women, you're an evil Jew. If you don't rape any of the Palestinian women, you're an evil Jew. And so...
Right. So then you have relentless justifications, right? And relentless ways to just make relentless boogeymen. Prove yourself right in whatever it is that you believe. Exactly. You prove yourself right. Instead of admitting that you are wrong. Wow. So self-boast, claiming that you are the change. If not now, when? If not you, who? And all this bash. Okay, enough of this bash. Because, exactly, what are they saying? The handicap principle is a hypothesis originally proposed in 1975 by Israeli biologist Amot Zahavi to explain how evolution may lead to honest or reliable signaling between animals which have an obvious motivation to bluff or deceive each other. Who knew? So they're just spirit cooking things to just somehow explain how, truthfulness can be seen as an evolutionary some bash. The handicap principle suggests that reliable signals must be costly to the signaler, costing the signaler something that could not be afforded by an individual with less of a particular trait. For example, In the case of sexual selection, the theory suggests that animals of greater biological fitness signal this status through handicapping behavior or morphology that effectively lowers this quality. The central idea is that sexual selected traits function like conspicuous consumption, signaling the ability to afford to squander a resource. It's like, look how much it drained me to do this. And somehow that proves something. Well, so all of this, wow, right? It's just to prove worth, right? And somehow worth has to be costly. Value is costly, right? And all this, and then they just parallel it to, economic terms, economic mentality, economic belief, value, coin, money, career, passion, this, that, the other, livelihood, well-being, all has a bash value. So this is the theory of how it evolved, right? So somehow it's costly, therefore we just gravitate to things that are costly. Who knew that the greatest cost, right? The greatest cost in the sense of what it entails is astounding. For the greatest cost truly is, the actual flesh, because the flesh is the vessel in the vapor that you are. So therefore, the cost is your flesh. But so if the cost is that, if the price is the life, in the mortal life in doubt, in the self-awareness of doubt, that was the cost, death. So if it's the Christ, what did it pay for? Your disbelief. Who knew? But who paid the price? Well, that which defeated the penalty, death, right? So Christ Jesus defeated death, revealeth that life is the true promise, life everlasting with the Father. Who knew? So what is the actual signal? What was the actual revealing? The witness. What are we living? What are we in worship of? Some Bahash theory of a handicap? That somehow, it's at your expenditure of somehow expending resources to prove your worth. No. How does one? The worth is in abiding in truth, abiding in obedience to the way of the Father. Who knew? Believe in the Savior, Christ Jesus, who revealeth the way, whose word reverberates, through generation. And wow, you cannot wait to just defile it. All because it gives you some sense of boast, power. Right? Wow. The central idea is that sexual selected traits function like conspicuous consumption, signal the ability to afford to squander a resource. Receivers know that the signal indicates quality because inferior quality signalers cannot afford to produce such wasteful, extravagant signals. The peacock tail in flight, the classic example of a handicapped signal of male quality, right? So don't all males have, very similar plumage? So apparently the further the peacock flies, the better, or what? So somehow they have to just exhaust themselves and expend all the resource to just prove, wow, how more preferable they are, how much more fit they are. Is that the case? Well, that's what they want you to believe. So, and they prove it, right? Because it couldn't be about, well, things that you cannot explain. Yet you can witness the masterpiece. Wow. Oh, of course, models after models, models. Generality and empirical examples. Oh. Typical examples of handicap signals include bird songs, the peacock's tail, courtship dances, bowbirds' bowers, or even possibly jewelry. So either, your ability to be able to make this or purchase it. So which is it? Make it or purchase it? Which one has more value? Exactly. Confused now. What is more value? The ring or the promise? Oh, you don't know anymore. Oh. And you say, well, anybody can promise. So you need the physical proof to just boast in it. Oh, there you go. Now you're showing who you really worship. For you deny the true proof. Life. You deny life and you demand proof of life. Wow. Of worth. Of worth in life when you deny the worth of life. Wow. What a shame. And then you have relentless theories of bash to just keep you in there. Oh, in there. Right, so then they explain hypergamy and this and that and this and this and this and that. Wow, what a shame. The signal receiver need not be a specific or sender. However, signals may also be directed at predators with the function of showing that pursuit will probably be unprofitable. So the deer will just run relentlessly so fast and it's in doing so it's saying, look how fast I can run. I can outrun you any day. Yet they relentlessly get killed. Okay. So again, how do you know that these bashes, right? Have anything to say, or they're just boasting? But look at this. This is another perverse, just depravity. Look, some bash, young female with 2 bashes in undercover in bed. And she's talking about her release of her new album, God is a Woman, this and that, bash, I'm the light. Who knew fully in the worship of light, they couldn't wait to tell you, black and white, of course. The basal layer, which they blast you into believing that you're the synthesis, and somehow they just bash you against the pillars. Amazing. And of course, she's wearing the bash little kitty ears and just acting like a bash animal. In bed with these 2 guys, and apparently, it's just a video about her video, and she's just bash. Right, it's half an hour long, and who knew? She's in constant, look, just like about herself, just crying.
Honest, he gave us 7 takes, not 1 but 7, and I
Real green screens,
I don't have words. Gonna cry myself to sleep.
Oh, who knew?
Life doesn't get better than this. I swear.
So
to God, if something changes, honest to God, knock me out.
Madonna carried the struggle on her shoulders to put out what Ari's able to put out now. And so that baton has to happen on this video. It's like, it's subtle.
Slumber party.
I'm always more curious to hear what my fans have to say about my music than like my label or anybody, because I feel like we have such a close bond and connection and relationship, I feel like.
Really? So you brought them into a corral and now you're just dancing for them? All while they twerk.
That's why I flew in a fan from Paris named Anis. You may know him as Beho Wright, to listen to Sweetener before I played it for my label or anybody. So I'm always curious to hear what they have to say first, so I kind of wanted to do that for a larger group of kids this time, just to celebrate the album and see what they think.
So who knew that people relentlessly just bestow so much worth onto these people? They see them as a true gift and something to aspire to be, or just, oh, right? And you say, well, what's wrong with that? Because it's the false gift. Who knew it's the worship of idols? It's the worship of the false image.
And I think that came from
Black and white, of course, you couldn't wait.
Bringing this new flavor.
And who is this?
Like
Sometimes
90s
she's blonde,
influence.
sometimes she's brunette. Just split, just one day there, and of course I'm bad with a relentless man. Pearl necklace, I couldn't wait, and this kitty, just some kitty bash. Meow, meow, meow. Just perk up, downward dog. Let's go. Camera off. See you later. Nuptial gift, right? A nuptial gift is a nutritional gift given by one partner in some animals' sexual reproduction practices. Formally, a nuptial gift is a material presentation. Dowry, is it? To the recipient by a donor during or in a relationship to sexual intercourse that is not simply gametes in order to improve the reproductive fitness of the donor. Often, such a gift will improve the fitness of the recipient as well. This definition implies neutral gifts, costly gifts, and beneficial gifts regarding the fitness of the recipient. Nuptial gifting is at the intersection of sexual selection, nutritional ecology, and life history theory, creating a link between the three. The missing link is the nuptial gift. Who knew? All false brides. All false promises. Right? Because it's a theory of man. Of observations, right? And observations which are a masterpiece. Infinite in wisdom, for they are created with the wisdom of the Father, who created it all, who knew. But we relentlessly create names and theories and that, and how it supposedly increases their something. Bosh fitness. Whoa. And then you go to the gym to just boost your fitness. Wow. Smashed. Look at all the Bosh things on it. For what is a true promise, right? Life everlasting. But no, somehow it has to be some nuptial gift. All because you want to gift yourself into just acceptance, right? You want to gift. I give, everyone. I'm such a good little civilian. I just volunteer and just relentlessly go to the soup kitchen and just pour out soups every day. I'm such a good person. I'm giving nuptial gifts left and right and center, but there's no up and down because we're just spinning and following some bash ball of gas that's going somewhere but nowhere, and who knows? Amazing. So, wow, right? The gift, and apparently another gift is this hilarious 10-year-old comedian's act is hilariously inappropriate. Yeah, wow, it's happening. And people post and attend and post and post and applaud and applaud. That's pretty impressive for a 10-year-old, but what makes Saffron really stand out in her sense of humor, which is a little twisted and well beyond her years. Who knew? It's because she's treated like an adult, and now she's bashing out there, making you laugh and just surprising you. Oh, it's hilarious. The darndest things. Ha 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 ha. All while mocking you. Who knew this child is relentlessly abused, has been abused, and now she's abusing you with the abuse that abused her? Wow, who knew? Online dating is tough. Every time I meet someone new, they end up in jail. Oh, why is a kid saying that? But you love it. She's unfair to joke about sacred cows. She's unafraid. I told my dad I wish Kurt Cobain had waited 20 more years before killing himself so I could have at least seen him in concert. Right? Because, who taught her Nirvana? Well, she heard it on the radio. Wow, she just loves it. Wow, leave her alone. Smashed. My dad said, why didn't you just... Right? Kill himself. Wow. My dad said, why didn't you just wish he did kill himself? Yeah, Dad, and then not have the Foo Fighters. See, just morbidity, just nihilism, just sarcasm. Blah, 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 blah. But of course, what are they doing? Look what they have done to this 10-year-old child. Wow, amazing. But you call it hilarious. She'll go there with religion. Wow, she even went there. I went to church with my friend Maria. We did something called communion. I was too scared to drink God's blood. What if he is diabetic? Why did she say, what if he has AIDS, right? She could have been just more defiled and said something like that. I wish God was black, though, because instead of crackers, we could have had brownies. Wow, amazing. Sometimes I upset religious people because... But before you come up to me and try to convert me to your religion, please remember, I'm just a little 10-year-old girl. And you're an adult that still believes in fairy tales. We're really not that different. Wow. Amazing. Lost at the age of 10. Wow, a full adult just bashed, became a pirate, worshipper of the light. Amazing. And she'll even make fun of her dad, which is pretty bold when you consider she's still living under his roof. My dad had made me look up the band Van Halen on YouTube. You can imagine how excited I was to find out that my dad was into drag queens. Right? She's boasting. Some have questioned how Saffron could possibly come up with such adult humor and even suggested that she might not write her own jokes. I hate kids. My mom is making me babysit a kindergartner after school. She says having a job builds character. Yeah, Mom, and so does killing someone. Wow. Right? These suggestions make me feel angry, but then it makes me laugh at how stupid some adults' perspectives are on me. But I do write my own material. I do collaborate with others like most comedians. Wow, she's just in the business now. She's just in there smashing, collaborating, bosh, relentless boardrooms, relentless meetings, blah, 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 blah. Right? So don't most comedians say that they're the most depressed, loneliest people around? So what does it say about this child? Wow, no, you won't go there. Most Saffron, classmates, meanwhile, admit to being lost when it comes to her comedic stylings, but some do laugh at her and pretend to catch her references, right? Because who knew that a 10-year-old just, wow, is probably worried about what jacket he wants to wear to school this whole week. Right? Look at this. I watched this show called Flintstones. Most of you guys looked like you probably watched it. But when you watched it, it was probably just called the news. Right? Smashing. Somehow she's receiving actual news today. Amazing. The punchline joke jokester who looks up comedians like Phil Stoller, Lucille Ball, Amy Poehler, Tina Fey, and Aubrey Plaza has big plans for the future. Who knew? Who knew wants to be just posted like all the idols she worships? Offend. Who knew that's the spirit of Satan, the defier? Who knew? Check out Saffron's bringing the LOLs on stage below. No, thank you. Again, and look at this. Another little teeny mini me. And where are they getting their relentless gift, their nuptial gift from? right? What have they believed? So he's crying.
Kelly took my girlfriend.
Oh, Kelly took my girlfriend. Whoa. So he's relentless sexual innuendo jokes. Bosh, bosh, bosh. Everybody's laughing. Wow, some kid is saying it. Amazing.
And I'm going to start out by saying, y'all got some beautiful women here.
Right, so some kid, and this kid might be, a teen, right? But he's talking about women like, man, I'd go out there and smash all of you. Yeah. And they're all just like, ha ha ha, it's hilarious.
Beautiful women. Especially you. You want to be my babysitter?
Right, and they're loving it. They're like, ha ha, I'll be a babysitter. So this guy relentlessly slays his babysitters, and it's all good.
Better quit coming around me like that. You know I'm going through puberty. Just jokes.
Right, just jokes.
But I need
Is it just jokes when you were just relentlessly exposed to all this, Oh, yeah, of course it was. It's all just affable. Smashed. Who knew that abuse was all around us? And, of course, it targets the children first and foremost.
Talk to y'all grown folks for a minute. Because y'all always talking about how bad kids are. Talking about kids just ain't the same no more. But in reality, kids act just like grown folks.
Oh, he couldn't wait. Kids act just like grown folks because they're made to. That's what they learn.
Kids, grown folks, same thing. Like, for example, y'all always telling y'all kids, don't lie to me. Don't you ever lie to me. Y'all be lying to us.
Oh, exactly. So who knew that he's bashing you with the truth, saying, listen, I have a probably just rough childhood. You guys abuse me, but I'm going to make fun of it and bash you with it. Who knows? But in the end, what this is doing, some kid on stage boasting how he's made to be an adult in childhood. Amazing. And he's calling out the parents and saying, yeah, you're all just hypocrites. Exactly.
You lied about the tooth fairy, Santa Claus.
Of course, just bash things that
the Easter
people lie
Bunny.
about, but somehow they justify it. Oh, they're just white little lies. Let's keep the fantasy going until they're old enough, and they'll find out eventually. And they'll forgive me because I just blasted them with all these material things and bash memories.
The boogeyman. But y'all tell y'all when y'all really be lying? When y'all really be lying? Is when y'all whooping us. Talking about, I'm whooping you because I love you.
Oh, exactly. Who knew? Who knew he's just talking about the abuse? Right? The abuse that a child goes through, whether you were beat, spanked, or whatever, but relentlessly abused. With the hypocrisy, right? And the bash void parent. Who knew?
Please. You ain't whooping me because you love me. You whooping me because you mad.
Exactly, because they're full of anger. Void of love. For they do not see the way.
Y'all lie to us. We lie to y'all. And y'all women be the main ones lying. Like telling your kids that they daddy gone to the army.
Right, that their daddy went to the army, or that their daddy's just some bash a-hole, and bash, turning their children against their fathers, right? If they happen to be single women or whatever, whatever bash. but just lies upon lies because they're an embodiment of the lie. So how can they avoid lying if they're an embodiment and a worshiper of the lie? So who knew that this kid is just boasting, right? Probably carving out a career for himself based on the ways, the defiled ways of the world that somehow status quo, Groundhog Day, and we are the pushers of it relentlessly day in, day out. But no, it couldn't be.
Knowing he ain't gone to no army. I'm telling you right now, I tell you kids the truth. I be like, have your daddy send you the pictures? He be like, yeah. I be like, what is Island? Your mama lied to you, boy.
She did.
Answer the phone when your principal called, boy. Well, why you didn't answer the phone when your teacher called? Y'all don't answer the phone when the bill collector called.
Oh, exactly. Just hypocrisy. Pointing out the hypocrisy.
Right? Just try to understand. Because, see, when I'm around you, I feel like a boy. But when I'm around your mama, I feel like a grown man.
So just boasting about his lust. Wow. What have we done? But apparently this guy will boast and tell you, right, another gift.
Start off by making your bed.
So if you want to change the world, make your bed.
If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage.
So believe the God just covered in badge, little shit things that shimmer, and look at all these badges. So believe this guy because he, it was costly for him to do this, this exposition, right? This showcase. He's expending costly. So you have to believe it because it's worthwhile.
Encourage you to do another task.
Right? Or can it be just some bash and some costume and anybody can do it? Yeah, exactly. Anybody can go out there and say this bash. But apparently because, he has a bash and he earned all these things and bash, somehow I believe it. No.
And another. And another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed.
Whoa.
Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right.
Why? Could it be because your worship is bash? Yes. So anything else, the little things, right, based on some bash worship, who knew that even the little things would be bash? So yes. But no, this guy's saying about just the actual things that you do. Like making your bed, brushing your teeth, this, the other. He's like, if you can't even do that, then you're bashed. Could it be because you believe you're Stardust and that you're just one of multiple possible Gaias and bash, and nothing is important? This you're just some fart that cool down. No, couldn't be because it's just about the will, the mind over matter and this, and you can do it. Go out there and be somebody and boast in that identity. Yes. And hopefully you can just lavish yourself with all these Bosch gold things and Bosch uniforms and just shapeshift. Wear all the costumes you can and just go out there and boast in the enterprise that you're creating for yourself. Yes.
Right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made.
Right? So somehow it's satisfying. Say, well, I made my bed and I lay in it. Right? So just being your own little creator. Being your own little creator and justifier and ultimate judge and disher of some Bosch love that you say you have to give. Wow, what a shame.
That you made.
See, that you made.
And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better.
Wow.
To pass SEAL training, there are a series of long swims that must be completed. One is the night swim. Before the swim, the instructors joyfully brief the students on all the species of shark.
Oh, no, just give them fear.
That no student...
nobody has died.
But you are also taught that if a shark begins to circle your position, stand your ground. And if the shark, hungry for a midnight snack, darts towards you, then summons up all your strength and punch him in the snout.
Oh, just punch him in the snout and knock him out. Right? Yo. Wow, amazing.
you hope to complete the swim, you will have to deal with them. So if you want to change the world, don't back down from the sharks.
Oh, so he's saying, guys, there's sharks out there. That bash was just a metaphor story that shape-shifted into you. And now you have to go out there and just swim with the sharks. Right? So he's saying that it's inevitable that the sharks are out there and you're going to get shanked. So he's just saying, just go out there and be fearless. Doesn't matter. Because you know how to punch a shark in the nose. So don't worry, you'll just punch them out. What a shame.
Over a few weeks of difficult training, my SEAL class, which started with 150 men, was down to just 42. There were now 6 boat crews of 7 men each. I was in the boat with the tall guys, but the best boat crew we had was made up of the little guys. The
so
Munchkin crew
about the little,
and one American Indian.
So now he's posting about diversity in the little group.
One African American. They out-paddled, outran,
but they were the super soldier, the super swarm.
The big men in the other boat crews would always make good-natured fun of the tiny little flippers the Munchkins put on their tiny little...
Right, so who knew in the end what? It's not your size, your bash configuration. No. It's what... So their motivation to them is probably just proving everybody that they're number one, but based on the worship of competition, bash leadership, just being so bosh, be the best. And you're a maggot too, but be the best maggot and follow orders and this. So they just want to prove somebody right. Ultimately themselves and their other bash peers. So what is he saying? Oh, the big guys are all just making good fun of the little guys, but the little guys just go out and smash. So exactly, boasting and the efforts and the strain, right, of the physical endeavoring and the challenge of putting yourself through something and then coming out of it victoriously and somehow boasting about it and just using it to just be like, I lived through all that. I got to claim this about what I know. No, you don't.
Feet prior to every swim. But somehow these little guys from every corner of the nation and the world always had the last laugh, swimming faster than everyone and reaching the shore long before the rest of us. SEAL training was a great equalizer. Nothing mattered but your will to succeed, not your color, not your ethnic background, not your education, not your social status. If you want to change the world, measure a person by the size of their heart, not by the size of their flippers.
By the size of a character, right? So, and they'll say, what is a character based on? Logic and reason. Amazing.
The 9th week of training is referred to as Hell Week.
And some past notion of, compassion and brotherhood and this. Don't be loyal. Say no to the enemy. Bash your enemy.
It is 6 days of no sleep, constant physical and mental harassment. And
right, so they just break them down. Who knew that this is the break point, right? Where they just supposedly just bash them, make them split, and all of a sudden they just boast, just claim, mastery, claim their own throne and say, I am my own master because I overcame this, perceivably unobtainable feat. Wow, it's trauma-based, creation of an identity. So who knew that after this they have now this identity that they hold in the brotherhood of the SEAL? That's unbreakable because they're bonded by this bash achievement of something that traumatized them. Who knew?
And one special day at the mud flats. The mud flats are an area between a swampy patch of terrain where the mud spend the next 15 hours trying to survive this freezing cold.
Wow, amazing. Trauma.
As the sun began to set that Wednesday evening, my training class, having committed some egregious infraction to rules, visible but our heads.
So they were all
the
just
instructors told us we could leave the mud if only 5 men would quit.
Oh, so you could leave if only 5 would quit, but who knew in their own pride they were like, I'm not gonna be one of those 5, quitters, cowards. I'm gonna stay in the mud, right? Who knew that that's just another mechanism, right? That they know that the sorcerers know that once you have them in that bash, they're already in the mud. So who knew that by bashing them even more, you just are sure they stay in. Who knew that you could manipulate the flesh? Who knew? Who knew that you could worm inside somebody's head and just compile it, trawl it? Who knew?
Only 5 men, just 5 men, and we could get out of the oppressive cold.
Right. Who will betray you? Who will betray? Who's the betrayer amongst us? Right. But no, they're like, no, we are the SEALs. We're the highest trained, most efficient killing machine out there that can withstand. They're the Wim Hofs. They're the Wim Hofs of the world, everyone. They're the Wim Hofs that relentlessly go under cold waters and heal themselves. They heal their bodies. Bash. Who knew?
Looking around the mud flat, it was apparent that some students were about to give up.
But they didn't.
A bone-chilling cold. It's hard to hear anything.
It was hard to hear. Oh.
One voice began to echo through the night.
One voice, a man's voice.
One voice raised in song.
In song. Song of what?
The song was terribly
Bash,
became
SEAL,
2.
Navy SEAL song.
And 2 became 3, and before long, it kept singing. But the singing persisted. And the dawn not so far away. It is the power of hope.
No hope.
The power of one person.
Oh, exactly. The power of hope. The power of one person. So now they couldn't wait to bash you with the names and the images of apparent great men.
And a Lincoln, King, Mandela, and even a young girl from Pakistan, Malala. One person can change the world by giving people hope. So
one person can change the world. No, they cannot. That's why you have militaries that you serve, and that's why you bash train as a Navy SEAL, because you know that one person doesn't change the world. It's forces that go out and bash and kill and murder. But who knew you don't have to actually do that anymore, because now it's people are self-policing, betraying each other, styling back, and themselves is destroying themselves anyway. So who knew it's just easy picking? You could just both deliver one of these bash speeches and keep everybody entrained. Who knew?
If you want to change the world, start each day with a task completed. Find someone to help you through life. Respect everyone.
Wow.
Know that life is not fair and that you will fail often. But if you take some risks.
So respect everyone. How do you respect the people that you bash and kill? Oh, well, they're just enemy. They have to be eradicated, canceled out. So there's no respect for them because they have no respect for me. Well, who knew that's a pure Satanist? Wow. But no, let's not even finish this because it's not even inspiring according to its title. Because all this is amazing. Then spake Jesus to the multitude and his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. All therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that they observe and do, but do not ye after their works. For they say and do not. Who knew? For they bind heavy burdens and grievous to be borne, and lay them on men's shoulders, but they themselves will not move them with one of their fingers. But all their works they do to be seen by men. They make broad their phylacteries, and enlarge the borders of their garments, and love the uppermost rooms at feasts, and the chief seats in the synagogues, and greetings in the markets, right? They want to be respectable and dish out some bash respect, and to be called of man, Rabbi, Rabbi. But not yet ye called Rabbi, for one is your master, even Christ, and all ye are brethren. And call no man your father upon the earth, for one is your Father which is in heaven. Neither be ye called masters, for one is your master, even Christ. But he that is greatest amongst you shall be your servant. And whoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. Gatekeepers, exactly. For ye neither go in yourselves, neither suffer ye them that are entering to go in. Wow. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye devours widows' houses, and for a pretense make longer prayer. Therefore ye shall receive the greater damnation. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you compass sea and land to make one proselyte, and when he is made, ye make him twofold more the child of hell than yourselves. Corruption. Woe unto you, ye blind guides, which say, whoever shall swear by the temple is in nothing, but whoever shall swear by the gold of the temple, he is a debtor. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater the gold or the temple that sanctifieth the gold? And whoever shall swear by this altar, it is nothing, but whoever sweareth by the gift that is upon it, he is guilty. Ye fools and blind, for whether is greater the gift of the altar that sanctifieth the gift? Whoso therefore shall swear by the altar sweareth by it and all things thereon. And whoso shall swear by the temple sweareth by it and by him that dwelleth therein. And he shall swear by heaven, sweareth by the throne of God and by him that sitteth thereon. So exactly, all just, offerings, gifts, but what? What isn't it there that, is there to even allow that to be, right? I mean, wow, what gift, some bash, nuptial gift and all this bash. Wow. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you pay tithe of mint and anise and cumin, and have omitted the weightier matters of the law, judgment, mercy, and faith. These ought ye to have done, and not to leave the other undone. Ye blind guides, which strain at a gnat and swallow a camel. Wow. Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for you make clean the outside of the cup and of the platter, but within they are full of extortion and excess. Thou blinded Pharisees, cleanse first that which is within the cup and platter, that the outside of them may be clean also. Woe unto you, for ye unto white sepulchres, which indeed appear beautiful outward, but are within full of dead men's bones. Wow. Woe unto you, because ye build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of righteous, and say, if we had been in the days of the fathers, we would not have been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets. Wow, exactly. So you boast in being today and cry relentlessly about the past and say, we wouldn't have done what they did back then. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets. Exactly. We think ourselves as, the rebels that survived. No, the victor survived. So who is the victor if not the wicked who killed the prophets? Wow. So somehow you boast in your virtue while negating, right? And you deny in your immorality. Who knew? Fill ye up then the measure of your fathers, ye serpents, ye generators of vipers. How can ye escape the damnation of hell? Wherefore, behold, I send unto you prophets and wise men and scribes, and some of them ye shall kill and crucify, and some of them ye shall scourge in your synagogues, and persecute them from the city to city, that upon you may come all the righteous blood shed upon the earth, from the blood of the righteous Abel unto the blood of Zacharias, son of Barachias, whom ye slew between the temple and the altar. Verily I say unto you, all these things shall come unto this generation. Wow. So he was talking to the generation which he was speaking. Wow. O Jerusalem, thou that killest the prophets and stonest them which are sent unto thee, how often would I have gathered thy children together, even as a hen gathered her chicks under her wings, and ye would not. Behold, your house is left unto the desolate, unto you desolate. For I say unto you, ye shall not see me henceforth, till ye shall say, Blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord. Right, for you just totally bashed yourself and hid the Lord from yourself. So until the day you admit that blessed is he that cometh in the name of the Lord, in recognition of the Creator, in humbling yourself. Wow, no, it couldn't be. The Lord will bring a nation from afar, from the ends of the earth, to swoop down upon you like an eagle, a nation whose language you will not understand, a ruthless nation with no respect for the old and no pity for the young. They will eat the offspring of your livestock and the produce of your land until you are destroyed. They will leave you no grain or new wine or oil, no calves of your herds or lambs of your flock, until they have caused you to perish. Right? Why? Because you have just been led astray in your worship of all things false. Who knew? All things idol. So who knew that you believed the false gift? All because you think it's somehow evolutionary. Well, it's value, this. You give it some relative sense of value that you think you have based on the ways of the world lost. Liveth in freedom, but do not use your freedom as a cover-up for evil. Live as servants of God. Treat everyone with high regard. Love the brotherhood of believers. Fear God. Honor the king. Servants, submit yourselves to your masters with all respect, not only to those who are good and gentle, but even to those who are unreasonable. And you'll say, wow, this was just, a way for people to control other people and just make them do whatever they want. Well, it's either that or defiance and death. So what serves the Lord more? Somebody who just gives in to Satan's will and rebels and dies? Or someone who endures life, inspiring, passing on the word of God? Making righteous the men who honor that, obey it, the way, seek the refuge of truth. And despite whatever ongoings in the flesh are partaking, wow, they don't fear man. They don't fear, the relentless abuse of man. No, for they know the true promise. And they are the witness. They are the witness. And they are not justifying their boast in doing as thou wilt. For they know that those who are doing unreasonable, unjust things are bashed. That no man can change them. For they have succumbed to the lie. So what does a man do? Does he just kill them all and just become exactly that which he sees as evil? No. Seek refuge in the truth. Be filled with the wisdom of the Father that revealeth how to endure your life, your fleshly witness life in the flesh. For in its multiplicity of, situational individuals out there, wow. Who knew that refuge is key for everyone, anyone who seeks to drink freely from the waters of life. So don't use your freedom to bash, but use your freedom, right, to live. Exactly, to live. Even if you may see yourselves as what? A servant. For who do you serve? Your master or God? Exactly, God. Not some past person that's going to say, I am your master. No. But respect, why do you have to, exactly, right? Respect their passionate in the sense of, wow, okay, are you going to go and say, no, I'm going to take you off and put myself in power and then dish out my sense of bash. No. For they will kill themselves, right? They're the ones that are going to kill themselves, right? And sure, who knew that they fed followers of Christ to the lions? Right? And you'll say, what justice is that? Why doesn't the Father protect, them, let them get fed to the lions? Who knew that it's done by your hand? And that act is proof of your defilement. But no, instead use it as an example to just, hate God even more for allowing it to happen. No. Who knew it's that you, the bash ways of, worship of Satan are at root of that. So instead of rebuking the lie and just being truthful in the flesh, in life, you're gonna boast and say, oh, all these past things that I'm taught are reasons for why I just negate all this wisdom. And you can see and hear that not only in Ephesus, but in nearly the whole province of Asia, Paul has persuaded a great number of people to turn away. He says that man-made gods are no gods at all. There is danger not only that our business will fall into dispute, but also that the temple of the great goddess Artemis will be discredited, and her majesty deposed, she who is worshipped by all the province of Asia and the whole world. When the men heard this, they were enraged and began shouting, "Great is Artemis of Ephesus!" Right? They couldn't let go. Who knew that they're plugging their ears? Exactly what that other bash said at the beginning of this whole thing. Denial, because no matter what is presented to them, it could be the fox, no, la 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 la. Because it all comes down to, right, everyone believes about just tolerance, open-mindedness, and respect. Just respect everyone. But what is to respect, right, if it's not a one worship of one spirit? Right? Because what is respect? People just have multiple definitions of respect. And look, 74 verses that have, somehow respect associated to them, right? So who knew? Why? I mean, there's just no wisdom in this. No, nothing. Honor your father and mother. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. Children, be obedient to your parents in all things, for this will be pleasing to the Lord. You're like, no, bigotry. I'll do my way. All because who knew your parents were hypocrites, so you rebelled. Wow, who knew? It was an excuse to just go along with Satan's lie. And If men struggle with each other and strike a woman with child so that she gives birth prematurely, yet there is no injury, he shall surely be fined as the woman's husband may demand of him, and he shall pay as the judges decide. But if there is any injury, then you shall appoint as a penalty life for life, eye for an eye, tooth for tooth, hand for foot. So whatever injury was caused would be done to him. Wow, amazing. Surely I require your lifeblood from every beast, I will require it, and every man from every man's brother, I will require the life of man. Whoever sheds man's blood, by man his blood shall be shed, for in the image of God he made man. So, I mean, surely there's wisdom that surpasses respect. Yet when it's talked about in the Bible, it seems to be all in favor of, wow, loving your neighbor as yourself, loving your enemy, this, the other. Wow, who knew? But how is tolerance endurance? Or how is tolerance somehow the result or the solution to our problem? No, the problem is our bash worship, our split, fragmented, fractaled worship based on relativity. But no, it's the epistemology of philosophy and the science of philosophy. Bash. All who are under the yoke of slavery should regard their masters as fully worthy of honor, so that God's name and our teaching will not be discredited. Right? Because then if they're like, oh, you just rebel and kill your masters that oppress you, kill you, who knew that now you're a hypocrite? Wow, exactly. So you're like, what? So we just should we just take all the abuse, blah, 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 blah. Well, surely you have made it that, right, to be relentlessly in victimhood. But here's the thing. In a world where just defilement surrounds you and you are a follower of Christ, who knew that inevitably you would be surrounded and ultimately killed probably, because in a way, in a world where Satan's way is king, who knew that you would be just sought after to silence, because you can't have any murmurs, you can't have any spoken word of the word, right, which would showeth the lie as it is. And Timothy is filled with wisdom. So read it yourselves. It's just filled with wisdom. 1 and 2. But glory, honor, and peace for everyone who does good, first for the Jew, then for the Greek. For God does not show favoritism. All who sin apart from the law will also perish apart from the law, and all who sin under the law will be judged by the law. So God does have no favoritism. Who knew it's through his unconditional love, right? For truly the children of God are those who have the ears to listen and draw near. Who knew? Who knew? So, I mean, Lee, what gift is it, right? Because if we don't even recognize the true promise of the life we have witnessed over in the vapor of our existence in it, for truly the fleshly life dies in doubt. It's death, yet its death is a lie. So surely life is the true promise, because it's the proof is relentlessly there that life brings life forth day in, day out. And we can hide as much as we want. But it's futile. For there's nothing to gain under the sun. Amen. Forever and ever. Return to the Father. Admit you're wrong. Repent. Seek refuge in the truth. Be filled. And be void no more in emotion. No longer pursuing the false love of the ways of the world that turn on you on a dime. And in turn, you turn on others on a dime when it is unfavorable for your self-preservation. So what is going on? For what is truly permanent? Yes, the word. The word that fulfilleth who knew the wisdom of the Father. Amen.